book of Jeremiah, chapter 16, and verse 19. O Lord, my strength and my fortress, and my refuge in the day of affliction. The Gentiles shall come unto thee from the ends of the earth.
Right, so the other nations are going to come up to the Israelites after they have known and understand that what? They've done wickedness in the earth, and that they're responsible for the things that their generation have done. That's what a lot of people on the earth don't understand. Whatever your father has done, that's literally, you got to pay that tab for what your father did. So it's very important to choose your mate wisely, man. Right? Because whoever you procreate with, they're going to be responsible for the things that they're into. Right? That's why a lot of people say, well, you look like your father. You act just like your father. Well, he is his father. He literally is his father. Whatever that man has, whether it be righteous or evil, that's what that child is going to take on. Read on.
And shall say, surely our fathers have inherited lies, vanity, and things wherein there is no profit.
Yeah, so-called white people in that day are going to admit, they're going to finally admit it. All right, our forefathers, they inherited lies. That's why the Lord said they're going to cleave unto thee, because they're going to be like, well, I didn't actually do it. My father did it. But what is the Lord going to say? No, you're responsible for that because you are your father.
Right.
And they're going to be confounded in that day. Right? So their fathers have inherited lies and things where there is what? Things, no what?
No profit.
No profit. It's not profitable. It's not profitable for so-called white people to still be in America in 2023.
Right.
We're going into so-called 2024, who some to believe to be the 6,000th year of the earth from the reset. That what? That so-called white people are still in power. They're still calling the shots. Right? That's why the Lord said what he said. Go back to Lamentations. We're going to finish that. 4:16.
The book of Lamentations, chapter 4, and verse 16.
Verse 16. Salaki. How y'all doing, sisters? Okay, all praise. Can I ask y'all one question? Y'all believe in God? Can I read you one Bible verse?
The anger of the Lord hath divided them. He will no more regard them. Verse 21. Rejoice and be glad, O daughter of Edom, that dwellest in the land of Uz. The cup also shall pass through unto thee. Thou shalt be drunken, and shalt make thyself naked.
Yeah, like so-called, like the video I was watching last night, the Rothschilds have a whole YouTube channel talking about the wickedness that they've done. They're not saying it straight out right, but they're speaking in code. I can't remember the name of the Rothschild YouTube channel. You know, if I remember it, we may put it on the screen. But they're talking about the Balfour Declaration, how they took over the land of Israel, the reason that they did it, how successful it was, and all these things, and, you know, the riches and the wealth that they got from it, and the other land masses that they've taken. So they're making themselves naked. It's not hard to find out who the wicked is on the earth.
Right.
It's not hard to find out. They're right there. Now, you may not see them, you know, at your local Walmart, right? But they're out here, right? Just research who owns certain parts of the land. Just research it. Just look it up. These people own everything, right? Have you found out about the Vanguard or BlackRock? Have you heard these names? Do you know that BlackRock owns all of the businesses in the world? Who owns Apple? It's not the guy that created Apple.
Right.
Who owns the cereal companies and all these different millionaire, billionaire companies? It's two companies that own it. It's BlackRock and the Vanguard. Who's BlackRock and the Vanguard? That's the Rothschilds, the Rockefellers. It's the same people. They own it all, right? No dollar goes past anybody outside of those people, right? Read on.
The punishment of thine iniquity is accomplished, O daughter of Zion.
How you doing, sister? Y'all believe in God?
Yes, sir.
You got a second to hear a Bible verse?
Yes, sir.
All right, let me show you something real quick. Go to Judges chapter 2. Let's go to verse 11. Now, I got a question. Do you know your God-given race in the Bible?
my God-given race.
Yes. What I'm asking you is, what race of people did God call your race in the Bible? Is that a good question or what?
It is.
It's a good question, right?
Very good question.
So what does this society call your race? Like when you go to a job and fill out an application, what do you put down?
Well, I say that I'm African American and Caucasian.
Okay.
But
Can you actually be two races of people? Do you think God clears that matter up in the Bible where he says you can be two races of people? Is that a scientific fact where you can be two races? Let's find out. Give me Numbers chapter 1 and verse 18.
The book of Numbers, chapter 1, and verse 18. And they assembled all the congregation together on the first day of the second month, and they declared their pedigrees.
Their what?
Their pedigrees.
You know what a pedigree is? A pedigree is a genealogy, a lineage. They declared their lineage or their pedigree how?
After their families, by the house of their fathers.
The house of who?
By the house of their fathers.
Why did they declare their genealogy by their father's lineage? What's the reason that God told you to do that? Because you are who your father is. Why is that? What does the man have when you produce with the child? I mean, yeah, that too, but when a man and a woman gets together, the man carries the seed. The seed is entered inside of the woman, right? So whatever that seed is who the child will be. A simple example of that, if I have an apple seed, and I plant it in a pasture of greens, what's gonna sprout up? An apple tree, right? It's not gonna be an apple green tree. Does that make sense? Kinda. So what I'm saying is, when you say you're black and white, what's your father?
My brother, my father is African American.
The father's African American. So you would be who your father is.
Yep.
Not saying that you don't take on phenotypes or traits of your mother or that your mother doesn't matter, but what I'm saying is, in the eyes of God, you are who your father is. That's how you determine your race or your genealogy. Right? Give me Job chapter 8 verse 8. Another one. Listen to this.
Book of Job, chapter 8, and verse 8. For inquire, I pray thee, of the former age.
Inquire about the former age, because they'll lie to you in this society that we live now. Read.
And prepare thyself to the search of their fathers.
You want to prepare yourself to the search of your fathers. Now, your father being an African American, what is his lineage? What did they call his great-great-grandfather prior to him, that nation being enslaved in America? Who are they? Because when you find that out, you'll find out who you are. And it could be a heritage for you. Because I don't read African American in the Bible. I don't read white in the Bible. I don't read Chinese in the Bible. Correct? So we have to find out who are those people with those names in the Bible. You follow me? So I'm going to show you real quick. Give me Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 15. Listen to this real quick. What's going on, brother? You got a second to hear a Bible verse?
No, I gotta go, man.
Read that.
Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 15. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God.
Now this is Moses talking. You're familiar with Moses, right? You heard of Moses?
Yes, sir.
So Moses, what is he famous for?
For the ark, right?
No, that was Noah.
Noah. Sorry.
So Moses went into Egypt and said, Pharaoh, let my people go. Remember that? When Moses went up into Egypt and he said, Pharaoh, let my people go. And then God put the 10 plagues on the Egyptians, the fire, the hail, the lice, starting to register now. So Moses freed God's chosen race of people out of slavery. Did you know that God had a chosen race?
A chosen race?
Yep. Give me the book of Chronicles, chapter 16, 13, 16. Isaiah 44 and 1. You got Chronicles? 16 and 13 or 13 and 16?
13. Book of 1 Chronicles chapter 16 and verse 13.
All right, listen to this.
O ye seed of Israel, his servant, ye children of Jacob, his chosen ones.
You hear that?
O ye seed of Israel.
So there's a seed line called the Israelites. You know?
Ye children of Jacob, his chosen ones.
His what?
His chosen ones.
Did you hear that? They're the chosen ones. Who are the chosen ones? Israel and the Israelites. Give me another one. Let's go.
44:1.
Let's go.
Book of Isaiah, chapter 44, verse 1. Yet now hear, O Jacob,
Listen to this.
my servant, and Israel, whom I have chosen.
So there's a race of people in the Bible called the Israelites.
Right.
The descendants of a man named Israel. And God said that they're his chosen race out of all the other races that he created. So now what we have to do is find out who these people are. Because if they're chosen by God, surely I want to go touch them and find them and talk to them. Because that's what God said, they're chosen, right? So we have to find out where they are in the year 2023. Does that make sense? We're about to find out right now. Deuteronomy 11 to 26. Deuteronomy chapter 11, let's go to verse 26.
Deuteronomy chapter 11 and verse 26. Behold, I set before you this day a blessing and a curse.
Did you hear that? So this is Moses speaking to the Israelites. He said, you're going to receive blessings and or curses. Read.
A blessing if ye obey the commandments of the Lord your God, which I command you this day.
So if they obey the God's commandments, what's going to happen to them? If they obey. What's the word that it just said, though? Read it one more time.
A blessing if ye obey the commandments of the Lord your God.
If they obey the commandments, they'll receive what?
They'll be a
Blessings. All right, you know what?
And a curse.
And a what?
And a curse.
You know what?
If ye will not obey the commandments of the Lord your God.
So if they don't obey the commandments, what's going to happen to them? Curse. So we're going to read what God said will happen to them if they don't obey, and it's going to pinpoint who they are. Deuteronomy 28:68. Let's get straight to it.
Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 68.
Listen to this.
And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again.
So one of the curses for breaking God's commandments, that God's chosen people have to go to Egypt again. Now, Egypt in the Bible is a place where the Israelites were in slavery. So they have to go to Egypt or slavery again. How did your father's race of people get to America? Historically wise, how did they physically get to America? How did so-called black people get to America? You know about that history? Did they fly on a plane? Did they... You're not familiar how black people got to America? Well, the Bible's going to tell you. All right, read it one more time.
And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships.
God said that the Israelites are going to go to slavery on slave ships. Right? That's literally what we just read. Who did that happen to in the earth? So-called black people, Hispanics and Native Americans. They make up God's chosen race of people, the 12 tribes of Israel. Read it one more time.
And the Lord shall bring thee to Egypt again
Read.
with ships.
Read on.
By the way whereof I spake unto thee.
Read on.
Thou shalt see it no more again.
Read.
And there
And when you get off the ships,
ye shall be sold unto your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen. And no man shall buy you.
you're still going to be a slave until Jesus Christ comes back.
That's right.
That's literally what that verse meant. So we just showed you with one verse what race of people are God's chosen race of people. It's the people that went to slavery on the ship. And the monument is right there in the street. If you know anything about Fayetteville, North Carolina, that's the slave market square, where they sold the Israelites, or who the world will call slaves. But when you read the Bible, they're actually God's chosen people. So you would be God's chosen children.
Right.
You would be an Israelite. Because you're part of God's royal lineage through your father's seed. So salvation and everlasting life is open and available for you. All you have to do is believe in the Lord. He's a so-called black man, according to the Bible. Did you know that? Give me Revelation chapter 1 and verse 13. We're going to show you this one last thing before you got, because I know you got to go.
I have to get my daughter, but I'm
Okay, all praises. All right. Revelation chapter 1 and verse 1 first.
Revelation chapter 1 and verse 1. The revelation of Jesus Christ.
The word revelation means the revealing of Jesus Christ. It's going to reveal to you what he looks like. Revelation chapter 1 and verse 13.
Revelation chapter 1 and verse 13. And in the midst of the 7 candlesticks, one like unto the Son of Man.
Now, keep in mind what we just read prior to this. It said that God's people, if they didn't listen, they would be cursed. The curse said that they would go to slavery on slave ships. And these are Jesus Christ's people. If the people went to slavery on slave ships and look a particular way, what do you think Jesus Christ is going to look like? It's about to tell you. Read.
One like unto the Son of Man, clothed with a garment down to the foot.
So picture this in your mind. He got a long garment down to his foot. Something similar to mine, but his is way much more better than mine. Read on.
And girt about the paps.
A girt about his paps is like a WWE wrestling belt. Read on.
With a golden girdle.
And it was golden. Read.
His head and his hairs.
His head and his hairs. The hair on his head, the hair on the rest of his body was what?
Were white like wool.
It was what?
Were white like wool.
White like wool. What race of people has wool-like hair? Wool? Wool. Look at this right here. That's white like wool. Wool-like hair is kind of like kinky or nappy. That's what they say in America. Negro hair.
Right.
White like wool. Read on.
As white as snow.
And it was as white as snow. Read.
And his eyes were as a flame of fire.
So that's red. Jesus Christ has red eyes. Read.
And his feet like unto fine brass.
So his feet is the same skin complexion as the rest of your body, right? What color did it say?
Like unto fine brass.
What color is brass? Brass. B-R-A-S-S. When you look up the etymology of brass in antiquity, meaning of old, brass would be about this color right here at the bottom. Brown, like copper. But check out how copper or brown is said. Like it's a fine brass.
As if they burned in a furnace.
Wow. The Bible just said Jesus Christ looks like what color? That's right. So how old are you?
I'm 18.
So you've gone 18 years of living not knowing what the Savior of the world looks like. But you just found out.
That's right.
And you just found out your God-given nationality. You're not a mixed woman. That's no such thing. You know how much confusion comes with the idea that someone is mixed? It's confusing. You're like, well, what side do I choose? Do I claim this side? Do I claim that? No, you are who your father is. That's biblically speaking, all up and down. So you will be an Israelite according to the Bible. And salvation in the Lord belongs to you.
That's right.
Right? You'll be an Israelite from the tribe of Judah. Judah. All right, remember that name and remember what we taught you. Or what we told you, rather. You're God's chosen people, an Israelite. Of course, you got to remember what Jesus Christ looks like. And the reason that so-called black people went into slavery on slave ships, because we broke God's commandments, because we're God's chosen people. Now that punishment is almost up, Jesus Christ is about to come and save his people and give them everlasting life. That's what the whole Bible is about. And we're going to got one last verse for bring it up.
Book of Revelation, chapter 14, verse 12. Here is the patience of the saints. Here are they They keep the commandments of God.
So the patience that God's people are waiting on is keeping the commandments of God, read,
And the faith of Jesus.
and the faith in who the world calls Jesus Christ.
Right.
Yahweh Shah Mashiach. So do you have any questions?
Well, like recently, well, just to let you know a little something about myself. I've recently been going through my walk with God. So I'm seeing a lot of things, and He's opening my eyes to a lot of things. But one thing that I am learning more about is the Bible. One thing I have been reading more about is the Bible. So I've never knew it until you guys just called me.
Right. So the Lord said man's goings are of the Lord. So the Lord had you come up to hear this. Because when you start your journey on reading the Bible, you have to know the proper way to read the Bible. You can't read it like a novel. It's important to know who you're reading about. Anybody can pick up the Bible and just start reading it, but they don't apply it to real life, who's been spoken to. So when you're reading the Bible, there's actually races of people that it's talking to on the earth. But nobody wants to address who it's talking to. The Bible was written by the Israelites, for the Israelites, and to the Israelites, which are so-called black people, Hispanics, Latinos, Native Americans. These are the 12 tribes of the children of Israel. So we have a YouTube channel called The Fisherman for Zion. Can you think of any question in your mind right now about God that we can answer?
Sorry.
Any question about God, any question about history, any question about why would God do this, any question about particular races of people, any question about anything. Any question about you, what your next step should be, anything. Can't think of one.
But it's like,
I got one for you. One that's simple, that everybody can play along with. Why did oppression and slavery happen to so-called African Americans, Latino? Why did that happen?
why did it happen?
Because would you agree that there's one race of people on the earth that's being oppressed?
Been what? I'm sorry.
There's one race of people on the earth that everybody hates and oppressing. Would you agree with that? That people hate African Americans? And when I say hate them, I don't mean they walk outside and say, I hate them, but hate them by their actions. Last hired, first fired. Killed unjustly. No reparations. Anything. That's called hatred. Why does all that stuff happen?
Because they get treated differently and looked at differently just because of their race. That shouldn't be how it should be.
All right, give me, because of their race. Give me, when you say a race, you mean like their color?
Yes.
All right, give me Song of Solomon 25.
Like, yes. That's one question. Why have they been treated so differently and because of their color?
I'm gonna answer.
The book of Song of Solomon, chapter 1 and verse 5. I am black, but comely.
Read that again.
I am black.
I am what?
I am black.
Who said that? Who in the Bible said they're black? You know who Solomon is? That's the great-great-great-great-grandfather of Jesus Christ. What did he say?
I am black, but comely.
Comely means beautiful, handsome, gorgeous.
And what is the name again?
This is Solomon. Right? This is the son of King David. This is the relative of Hispanic people, black people, and Native Americans. God's chosen race. Song of Solomon, chapter 1 and verse 5. Read it again.
Song of Solomon, chapter 1 and verse 5. I am black, but comely, O ye daughters of Jerusalem, as the tents of Kedar, as the curtains of Solomon. Look not upon me, because I am black.
Don't judge me because of my skin. Read.
Because the sun hath looked upon me.
Because what happens when the sun shines on so-called black people? What happens to them? They get a little darker, right? Doesn't that happen when you stand out in the sun all day and you get a tan? Because the what have shined upon me?
Because the sun hath looked upon me.
Read on.
My mother's children were angry with me.
Yeah, my mother's children were angry at me. Like you even have something called light skins against the dark skins. Right? Color complexity. When people are upset about the melanin of one's skin. Read.
My mother's children were angry with me. They made me the keeper of the vineyards. But mine own vineyard have I not kept.
Yeah, people will make you a keeper of the vineyard because of your skin complexion. Right? So that's in the Bible.
Right.
Who is that talking about? God's chosen race of people. Now, what's the reason that the nations or other races of people mistreated God's chosen people? Give me Psalms chapter 1, 107 and verse 10.
Book of Psalm chapter 107 and verse 10.
Listen to this.
Such as sit in darkness and in the shadow of death, being bound in affliction.
Being bound in what?
In affliction and iron.
Look at this right here. What are they bound in? What's on it? What's on this? What is this right here? What is he bound in? You see this? You ever seen this before? You never seen like a slave movie like Django or 12 Years a Slave? This is called iron. This is affliction. All this is affliction. You in the field all day picking cotton. That's what your fathers and mothers and grandmothers and aunts had to do. Inevitably, that's what you had to do because that's who you are. Read it one more time.
Such as sit in darkness.
This is sitting in darkness. Read.
And in the shadow of death.
The shadow of death is America. Read.
Being bound in affliction and iron.
Slavery. Read on.
Because they rebelled against the words of God.
Why did slavery happen to African Americans?
Because they rebelled against the words of God.
Did you hear that last verse? It said because they rebelled against the words of God. So who are the chosen people in the Bible? Right? But African American, God never said that word. So what did God call them? Starts with an I. That's right. Israel, the Israelites. The Israelites. So that happened to them because God chose them to be the chosen people. They rebelled against God, so God judged them. Now that judgment time is up, you now have to come back to God and serve Him in spirit and in truth. then you have to do the commandments that God said to do. Can you name me 3 commandments before you leave? Know any of God's commandments? All right, Deuteronomy 22, verse 5.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 22, and verse 5. The woman.
Now, how do we get the kingdom of heaven? We get the kingdom of heaven by believing in Jesus Christ and keeping his commandments, right? This is one of the commandments of the Lord.
The woman shall not wear that which pertaineth unto a man. Neither shall a man put on a woman's garment.
Can a man wear a dress? If a man wears a dress, what is that called?
Well, people see them. It's sad to say, but
Let's not worry about what the world says. We're talking about God. What is that called in the eyes of God? It's called sin. If a man wears a dress, that's sin. America may say something different. America calls you a black woman or African American. But that's not true in the eyes of God. You just found out that God called you what? Israelite.
That's right.
So what did God say about a man in a dress? That would be sin. So what does God want the woman to wear?
it started with a G. What was
Read that again.
The woman shall not wear that which pertaineth to a man.
What pertains unto a man? Because a man can't wear what pertains to a woman. So if a woman can't wear that pertains to a man, what is that? That's called pants, breeches. Women are supposed to wear dresses. You following?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so we just wanted you to know one of God's commandments. One of God's commandments that you as an Israelite woman, that you have to wear a dress. So you have to learn about the commandments so that you can make the kingdom of heaven.
Right.
That makes sense? You look puzzled. Tell you more? All right. Give me the book about that in particular, or about that in particular. Well, that's plain. It says, how do you like, for example, you see that sign right there? How do I know what's a woman and a man?
The yellow side.
Yellow, black.
Me and man shall be known by his work. You following?
yes, sir. I'm just texting.
So, I know that that's a man because of what he has on. I know that that's a woman because of what she has on. That makes sense? So, the Lord gave us commandments for us to differentiate ourselves. Right? Because the Lord said a man shall be known by his looks. That makes sense? So, Deuteronomy chapter 22 and verse 5 instructs the woman on what she is to wear, which is a dress. And that's plain. All right, give me Isaiah chapter 3 and verse, what's it, 12? 9.
Isaiah chapter 3 and verse 9. The show of their countenance doeth witness against them, and they declare their sin as...
So the show of your countenance is going to witness against you. Right? So if a man came up here with a dress, you know what spirit that he's in. If a man came up and walked up and he had a dress on, you already know what spirit he's in. So the reason that women are out of order today is because they're not following the order of God. They're not wearing dresses as God commanded.
That's right.
And if you're not doing that, then you will be in sin. That's one of the reasons why the world is out of order. So that's one of the commandments. So if you love God, what would you do? You would put on a dress.
Right.
If I love God, I wouldn't put on a dress. Does that make sense? That's one of the commandments. We're going to give you two more. All right? Give me Leviticus 11:7.
Leviticus chapter 11 and verse 7.
This is another commandment, sister, that God commanded the Israelites to keep. Listen to this.
Thee and the swine, though he divide the hoof.
You know what swine is? Swine is a pig. Can we eat pig according to God? Can we eat pork?
Yeah, that's in Michigan.
Yeah. Like bacon.
I know.
Like
I know.
the God said we can eat that. And the swine, though he divide the hoof,
And be cloven footed, yet he cheweth not the cud.
doesn't properly digest his food.
He is unclean to you.
Of their what?
Of their flesh shall ye not eat,
Of their carcass.
and their carcass shall ye not touch.
Why?
They are unclean to you.
How many black people, so-called so-called African Americans, eat pork? Latinos, Native Americans. A lot of them, right? So that would mean that we're in sin as a race of people. And we have to stop doing it. Because
Right.
God said we can't do it. So that's a commandment. If you do that, or if you've done that, you have to repent from that. Make sense? All right? Do you eat anything that's in the waters?
In the waters, like fish.
You eat any seafood?
I don't eat fish, but I'm not really.
So you don't eat shrimp, crab?
Not really into it.
Well, that's good because God said you can't eat anything that's in the waters that doesn't have fins and scales. If it does not have fins and scales, you can't eat it. Fins and scales would be like flounder, trout, bass. You can eat that. But anything that does not have fins and scales, that would be sin according to God. Make sense? All right, now, last one we're going to give you. You ever heard of the Sabbath day?
No, sir.
All right, give me Exodus 28.
This is the book of Exodus chapter 20 and verse 8. Remember the Sabbath day
This is what God said. Remember the Sabbath day.
to keep it holy.
Keep this day holy. Read.
6 days shalt thou labor
You got 6 days to labor.
and do all thy work.
Read.
But the seventh day,
What day?
but the seventh day,
The first day.
but the seventh day
Read.
is the Sabbath of the Lord thy God.
The seventh day is the Sabbath day. What's the seventh day of our week? So what's the first day then?
The first day.
The first day of the week. First day of the week is actually Sunday. That's the first day. So what's the seventh day?
Monday.
Go to your calendar on your phone.
I'm overthinking.
Yeah, now don't overthink. Sunday is the first day. Count 7 days.
Saturday.
That's right. The Sabbath day is on so-called Saturday. The Sabbath day just ended. The Lord said, remember the Sabbath day, keep it, don't do any work. Everybody out here just broke the Sabbath day. So that's why we out here. To try to wake at least one soul up to know what God actually said in the Bible.
Right.
Make sense? So on the Sabbath day, you're not supposed to work. You're not supposed to buy anything. You're not supposed to sell anything.
Right.
Or cook. Right? Doing your own pleasures. But you're supposed to congregate, pray, get rest. And bethink yourself and think on the Lord. Right? Now, that's the Sabbath day. That's the day that we're supposed to keep.
Saturday.
Yep. It starts Friday when the sun goes down. Does that make sense? We're going to give you one more. Numbers. Chapter 15, verse 38.
Book of Numbers, chapter 15, and verse 38.
You eat like meat, steaks, or anything?
Yes.
How do you like to cook your steak? How do you like your food cooked? Medium rare, medium rare. All right, give me Leviticus, 19 and 27.
The book of Leviticus, chapter 19,
26.
and verse 26. Ye shall not eat anything with the blood.
Medium rare.
Ye shall not eat anything with the blood.
So the Lord said you can't eat anything that has blood in it. You have to make sure that whatever you eat is done. Either cooked well done with fire or cooked well done by the sun. Alright? So you can't eat anything that's halfway cooked. Does that make sense? So they taught you in America, hey, eat it medium rare. It's better that way. I'm just gonna be straight up, that's what white people taught us. But God said don't do that.
Right.
So we have to reject European knowledge and accept God's knowledge. Does that make sense? I know that may be offensive, but so the Lord said, shall not eat anything with the blood. Alright? Numbers. We'll give you another commandment.
Numbers, chapter 15, and verse 38. Speak unto the children of Israel.
What's your race called by God? Are you a black woman? Are you an African American woman and a white woman? Who are you?
Well, I am, like you said, who my father is.
So who is that? You're a Chinese woman, black, white, African American. What did God call you? That's what I'm asking. Read that one more time.
Speak unto the children of Israel.
Are you a black woman?
I'm his child.
That's right. What's the name though? You just said it. Starts with an I.
Yeah.
You got it. We believe
Israel.
it. That's right.
That's right.
Right.
That's right. Israel. Israelites. That's who we are. Speak to who?
Speak unto the children of Israel.
Speak to the African American ones.
Speak unto the children of
You
Israel.
gotta throw away those old names and take on your new name, what God called you.
That's right.
Children of Israel, you know?
And bid them that they make them fringes in the borders of their garments.
So you gotta get you some fringes. What this brother got on right here is fringes in the borders of his garments. That brother got fringes on. That brother got fringes on. These are fringes in the borders of our garments. Read on.
Throughout their generations.
And it's supposed to be throughout our generations. Nobody wants to keep God's commandments, what God said. Why not? Read on.
That they put upon the fringe of the borders a ribbon of blue.
So you're supposed to have a ribbon of blue on your fringes. Read.
And it shall be unto you for a fringe, that ye may look upon it, and remember all the commandments of the Lord.
And what?
And do them.
And what?
And do them.
And do them. So the Lord told us to get some fringes and put them on your garments and do them.
Right.
But guess what? People of the world say, to hell with God, I'm going to do what I want to do. That's why God is going to destroy America with fire and brimstone in World War III. Because nobody wants to do what God said. But only the people that are willing to do what God said, they're going to make it.
Right.
Things such as putting on your fringes. By this brother putting on his fringes, this brother has a chance at making it. Right? But that guy, he's not going to put on any fringes on. So guess what? He's not going to make it.
Right.
So if you want to make it, you have to do what God said.
That's right.
You got to obey the Lord.
That's
The
right.
commandments.
That's right.
The laws, the statutes, and the commandments.
That's what it is.